Hi, friends and fellow Earth Angels. It's Gladys, and welcome back to my weekly Sunday card reading. And this spread is going to cover September 1st to the 7th. So we have our first official full week in September. I feel like I have a lot of things to say. Bear with me. I don't know how it's all going to unfold. One of the first messages I was getting when I was creating space for this reading was detox. Now, when I say detox, for me, it's like on all levels, like purging. So July and August has been a great challenge for a lot of people. Well, this entire year up until this point has been like metamorphic. And I've been saying that, at least for the last few weeks of transformation, aha moments. And so the reason why I'm guided to share the word detox is because I feel like the divine is going to be connecting with us on higher levels. And if there is any degree of toxicity in our lives, whether through food, whether through people, whether through our own, and I have to say a big part of this, it's not external forces, it's our own mental and emotional baggage. With all the transformations and changes that have happened up until this year, it's really easy to fall into that trap of unhealthy mental and emotional thinking, doubts with the divine. And once again, I'm going to say it again, I know I sound like a broken record, but Creator is getting ready to ignite, to start that engine and ignite that energy within us. So if you're a male or a female watching this channel, you're being asked to continue your personal relationship in faith and in the divine. The signs, I'm hearing so many of you, or seeing so many of you talking about the numbers and like the synchronicities and the things that are coming through the divine. And it really is just showing you that you're awakening spiritually, you're ascending and learning at a rapid rate, and more fully aware that there is this force working with you. And to be able to pull back out of external forces, people, places, things, and ideas that keep pulling you into their energies, to be able to detox from that and pull back. Now, this doesn't mean start chopping people out of your life. It doesn't mean, calling people and saying your energy no longer serves me. It's a little egoic in ways too, because you have to remember those people are teaching you something. They're a mirror of some sort in your life. And I understand that's a hard thing to face sometimes. It's hard to say like, well, I don't treat people like that. And, why can't there be more peace? Or why do they have to act like that? And I just ask you to pause and reflect on how you're being to yourself, and how are you being judgmental on the rest that your body requires? Are you forcing yourself to ignore your body's signal for relaxation or more water? Are you ignoring your body's signal to fuel it with healthy foods? So your sensitivities of the external world is always a direct reflection of what's going on inside. It doesn't necessarily mean you're doing that to other people, but on some level, you may have been doing it to yourself, or you may have outgrown it, and the universe is showing you what it looks like and how it feels when you do this to the inner child, or these parts inside of you that need your attention. And this is where the detox comes, and being able to pull back from the external and go within. So meditation, reflection. This is also a time for creative projects. It's a time to enhance and grow things. The new moon. So we have the new moon in Virgo that we've just plopped into, and it's one of the biggest super moons, meaning that it is the closest to the earth. And so when we have a new moon, it's a time to take on new things. Remember, this is a great time to start new projects or manifesting or putting positive energy out there, because now at this point, things are growing. And so I've mentioned this a few times, and I can't say enough about his channel, Steve Nobel or Steve Nobel. His channel, I'm actually going to put in the link below because I've been using his meditations and I have seen dramatic effects in my own energy and my own vibration by using his meditations on a regular basis, and he has a plethora of them. And so those are minor ways that you can detox. Those are minor, and being open to support. So New Moon in Virgo's message says, a time to give rather than take. And you know what the crazy thing is? So I opened up the book and I was reading what New Moon in Virgo meant. And then I was going to put it out to read it to you. And then my thought was, oh, let me pull a card. Just randomly, it was the card that was on top. Let me pull a card to stick in it so I can find the page easily when I want to read it. Would you know, when I looked at the card that I pulled was Supermoon, emotions are running high. And I'm just kind of laughing. I'm like, of course. And this is where it all started to unfold. And you've got like the purple energy here. I had already had my amethyst stones out, which is very cleansing. It's protective energy. You know, I see so often that as your light grows bigger and you become more powerful, it's more easy for the shadow to creep in. The shadow of your own negative thinking. And then also the shadow of like the opinions and the judgment of the world who are not yet in that space and don't understand, you know, your power and your light. So having this energy, the amethyst energy, is a form of detox, guided meditations to keep you in that higher place, being aware of the unhealthy mental and emotional thoughts that are happening. You know, there's such an epidemic of like addiction, you know, on this planet right now, and it really is like our own negative thinking and you know, our own dark shadow stuff. You know, we've all come to this planet to learn and evolve and grow. And I say so often that you are not going to shift and change and grow unless there's adversity, unless there's challenges. So a big common theme with Earth Angel Collective is never feeling good enough, right? And doing all these things, like I need more coaches, and I need to watch more videos, and I need to read more books, and I need to see more people, and I need to do all these things. And God is saying, come back to the heart, come back to the self, and seeing like, what if where you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be on this journey. Now, I have to say, I've shared a little bit about my personal story and my personal journey, and I think that's, you know, a part of the way I teach and the way I share information. And you know, it's no secret that I've been on this metamorphosis myself for this last year, and I had a lot of resistance about the space that I'm in right now. Could be better, should have done this, should have done that, mistakes, and could I have done better, like all these thoughts for this last year. And you know, I've fallen into this place of acceptance, and I think that's part of the grieving process. So as we have this supermoon that comes up right now, it's talking about emotions are running high. So to be mindful of that, pulling out of the distractions of the world and kind of going within yourself, sometimes even sitting with an amethyst and just letting the crystal detox and cleanse and purge your energy. So one of the messages that I wanted to say about the Virgo, New Moon Virgo, the meanings of the card mean gradual improvements are coming. Pay attention to detail if you want success without being pedantic. I don't know what that word means. It says, be of service to others, and love and money will follow. The person you're asking about is reliable. So Virgo is the sign of health, service, and analysis. Its energy is precise and has a feel of the harvest about it. When this comes up, it could be that a wonderful bounty is coming your way. And again, that's what I keep talking about. God is using us is going to use us. And again, we have on a soul level agreed to this time and space. I have such a variety of clients from 16 to 84. And all of them are going through these experiences at every single age. So, you know, I'm so blessed to have clients who want to come in and be open to the experience of what I have to offer, because I'm getting so much, like, in being able to share this with you and to share these patterns so that you know that you're not alone. And like I said, I have such a diverse clientele, and we're all going through these experiences. And again, this is where Creator on a soul level has now, it's like that miracle grow, and he's watering our seeds within. And of course the shadow part is going to pull. Of course the negative thoughts, negative people, the judgments of the world is going to pull us away from that. And so now more than ever, it's a time to stay focused. And again, like I said, that bountiful harvest is coming. It says, however, the energy of the new moon in Virgo is usually about getting your life in order. So that's what you need to do at this time of the Virgo new moon, and whenever else you pull this card. It's funny because I didn't even read that. I was going to read something else, but I ended up being guided to read that. And it just goes along with what I was channeling earlier about getting your life in order and detoxing and purging and cleansing. I've been so guided to do that lately, and wanting to complete projects. And it's right down to like hanging up a picture that's been sitting on the floor for months. It's these little things that we can just sit down and clear off our plate in preparation for this last quarter of 2019. So I was guided to pull Archangel Michael cards today. I feel like he has a lot to say. So I'm going to be working with his deck. And then for additional messages from him, I have the Oracle of Angels. And then I have Healing with the Angels. And then I'm going to finish it up with Whispers of Love. I knew my intro was going to be a little long, so I wanted to cut down on the amount of cards that I use. All right, so let me open up space by inviting in all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, God, source, creator of the universe, and all his holy beings of light who would like to assist with this guidance for you today. And I'm going to ask that the messages that come through be for your best and highest good, and the best and highest good of all concerned. All right, friends, let me open with Michael's first message. Michael, is the guardian of light. Michael's job and duty is to be the force for good. If you can think about him, he's like our bodyguard. He kind of walks ahead and clears the way for us. You'll know Michael's around because you'll hear sirens, fire trucks, ambulances, cop cars. I've also heard Michael in the form of car alarms going off at the oddest times or the oddest places. And I've also heard like the landscaping, what are they called? I call them the buzzers, but the edgers, I think that's what it's called. I'll hear that, and it's kind of like a sign, like helps on the way, you're not alone, especially with the sirens, and the thing is, the universe abides by the law of free will. This is why, we need to pray and meditate and invite in this energy. Just by you listening to these messages, it's like you're calling in that vibration to assist. You never, ever, ever work alone. And this is why every single one of my readings, you'll see how I open space and I close space. That's my way to honor the energy, and then also unplug from the energy of the collective, because I'm human too. This work is a big part of my life, but it is not my whole life. Although I can never disconnect from my intuition. I could never disconnect from God. I can disconnect from an energy that pulls at me for, like, when I'm channeling. And so at the end of my sessions, for example, like I'll close down and I'll sever the cord and I'll send people's loved ones with them. I'll send their guides and their guardian angels with them. And that's my way kind of to disconnect. And in a way, that's the way I detox. Like after every single session, that's my way to end and seal it and then open space for a new energy. So it's really important, especially for like holistic healers and intuitives, caregivers, people who are of service, to have some regular practice, and calling on Michael is powerful with that. So, all right, Michael, what message do you have for the collective this week, September 1st to the 7th, the final quarter of 2019? We're in, Labor Day weekend. It's the unofficial end of summer, which makes me really sad because I love summer. But we're in harvest time. All right, Michael, what do you have for us? would you like us to know? Let's see. There we go. Oh, there's two. All right, so let's see. The first message, explore your options. I love this. So the message says, Dear God, thank you for your wisdom and love, helping me see, understand, and assess all of my alternate options. Please guide me in the best direction for my health, happiness, and life's purpose. I mean, this couldn't be any more perfect. So, when we're detoxing and really clearing out clutter, really opening up to the divine and the divine's assistance. When we're in this space, I'm trying to find where the light is, not the glare. When we're in this space, many options can come up. When you're in a place of releasing, you're now opening up room for more. And I have to say, more of the old can come in if you're not countering it and filling it with the light. And so again, as you're guided to clear out and get ready, kind of like, at this point, over time, over the next month, maybe people are going to start packing up their summer clothes and, get preparation for the fall and the winter clothes. There's going to be a lot of like tying up loose ends. And so when you do that, it leaves space. And sometimes if we're not careful, we can fill it with more of the same. This is why sometimes, for example, in relationships, people attract the same kind of energy over and over again because they're not completely clearing up or sitting with the vibration of what was just finished. So I feel like this is explore your options, before just kind of making decisions and jumping into things. Weigh your options to see how you feel about it. And of course, the next card says, keep your eyes on your targeted intention. I love it. Keep your eye on the prize. You see this energy? It's so crazy because so often I feel like we're in this like slingshot energy. We get pulled back. And I feel like the full moon to the new moon, that's kind of like a pull back, a kind for us to purge, release, clear. And when the new moon comes in, it's almost like we've used that energy of the full moon to really focus on our aim and making sure that when that energy releases, you're going in the direction of your dreams. And so here we are in the new moon, and I just feel like this arrow right here is symbolic of like that energy releasing, and now we're getting ready to move forward again. So keep your eyes on your targeted intention. It's so easy to get caught up in distraction and old ways. So you want to be mindful and be checking in with your intuition, and that will be helpful when your energy is clear. So the message says, thank you, Archangel Michael, for helping me focus on my inner vision and intention. I ask for your guidance in releasing any fears or doubts, granting me the confidence and courage to take action towards realizing my dreams. I mean, these, again, they just couldn't come in alignment anymore perfectly. So And I think this is why Michael wanted to come in. It's like he recognizes that emotions are high. He recognizes the taker's energies, right? As caregivers, it's so easy to fall into that trap of fixing and saving and changing and making better. We're really phenomenal problem solvers. But when it becomes codependent and we're enabling the people that are around us and not giving them the space to have challenges or make mistakes or trip over those bumps of life along the way, it's harder for them to learn. So many of us have been pulled out of those situations where we can comfort people, support them, teach them, and inspire them. And the best way I can explain that is you want to continue to give to those that want to receive. So in my line of work, I am giving to people who want to receive. They're open to receiving the knowledge, the wisdom, the support, the comfort, the inspiration, the education that I can offer. And in turn, I receive back. In the shadow part of that, caregivers or people of service, can fall into that trap of giving to the takers, the people who are taking, and then it really depletes the empathic person or the highly sensitive person. There's a difference in the vibration. So we're going more into communities and networks and tribes and building businesses based on comforting, supporting, and teaching, inspiring for the greater good. We're in a process of like team building, right? Team building with chemistry. So I work with a bookkeeper, I work with a spiritual coach, I work with a mental health professional, I work with a strategic partner. So these are all people that are part of my team that are all very good at what they do to keep me functioning as a whole, really, right? And so we've been in this place of team building and co-creating and working together, and it's almost like the universe is becoming a magnet and bringing us together. So this is where explore your options, like what do you need? What kind of support do you need? And can you relinquish control and allowing the universe to bring those people in? And as you're doing that, keep your eyes on your targeted intention. It could be more peace in your life. It could be less action. It could be downsizing your home. It could be less hours at work and more time with family. There's just so many ways that this can unfold for people. So know that Michael's with you, supporting you in this space. I was just looking at this picture. The horse. Explore your options. All right, so let me ask Michael to expand on his message. So again, I love these cards. They kind of vibrate with Michael too. I've talked about the sword many times and how powerful it is when he walks ahead of you. I love how all these colors are coming into alignment. I love it with the card too. All right. Michael, what additional message do you have for the collective this week? What more would you like them to know? There we go. Ascension. Yes. So it's interesting too, because 4 + 3 = 7, and 7 is a spiritual number. 7 life path people, you're here on a spiritual journey. I personally am in my seventh year of my 9-year cycle. So this year for me personally has been all about spiritual insight and my own self. And it makes sense why I've been on this journey of the shadow work and going within and being able to share this knowledge and wisdom with you. This is what a 7 is. And so I feel like Michael is saying you're on the ascension process. And what I've channeled about ascension ascension just means that you're learning at a more rapid rate. As you're consciously aware of this force, of this power that's working with you, whether it's God, source, creator, universe, higher power, unconditional love vibration, if you're watching this channel, chances are you're awakened to something more, or you're curious about something more. It is said that the humans have the deepest desire to love and connect with another human being, but also to connect with spirituality and a higher vibration. And those vibrations are just as strong for both, like to love and be intimate with somebody. It's like a human, it's like part of being human, and it's like an intense like force feeling that can create a lot of feelings and emotions. But they also say spirituality and the desire to know God or know spirit or the divine, in that they're saying it's just as strong. So it makes sense why more people are curious and opening up to more. And again, I encourage you to listen to many different readers and many different authors and have many different experiences, because this is part of your journey and what works for you, and it is part of your ascension process. So, if you're asking yourself, what is the point of all this? I'm tired of learning the lessons. I don't see where this is going. Michael is saying you're on an ascension process and you're learning at a rapid rate. When you get something and you have the aha moment and you start making changes, this is the never ending pull of being a human and being on this planet. It's like you're always going to want to be fulfilled in some way, and never are you truly really to a degree of fulfillment, because it's like once you get to a certain point, it's like, okay, what's more? So let's say somebody finally gets great in their career and they're really happy in their career, then there might be a shift in the desire for family, and then they focus on that energy. And then, when maybe they're in that energy and they achieve that, and then there's this desire for health, and then they have health goals. So we're always in these pockets of spaces, creating and growing and expanding, and the desire to want to have that or be inspired in that, and then taking action to achieve those goals is part of the ascension process. So I feel like that's Michael saying that's the point. We have this beautiful card here with this person going to the light, and the light is above, and I feel like this is Creator's hands, right? This is the energy that's being pulled down to fill up the human spirit. And I can honestly and with conviction say it's really hard to get to that space without the divine, without God, without Creator. If not, it leaves way too much room for the shadow. It leaves way too much room and space for the drama and the negativity. So when you're in a regular space of connecting, however that is for you, it might be walking in nature, it might be going for a swim, it may be meditation, it might be journaling. There's so many ways that you can connect. But as soon as you turn your attention upward, the energy naturally fills you, and it's almost like a pull. You become a magnet for so much more. All right, Michael, let's give a healing message, healing with the angels. What healing message do you have for the collective? Manifestation. This is where it's going. One of the messages I feel like I'm guided to say right now is believe in your manifesting process. Believe in yourself to be able to manifest. Sorry, there's a glare. Believe in yourself and in your abilities to manifest. Now, I'm a triple water sign, as well as my Mercury and Cancer. So my astrological chart is dominated by water. And so when I realized that, so water signs are really intuitive, and water signs are master manifestors. And I've been reflecting on this, like, okay, if I have so much water in my chart, I should be the queen of manifesting. And then I always feel like I'm blocked or I'm doing it wrong. And so this last year, I've explored that. I've explored manifesting and what it means. Now, I have to say, I was stuck in my mental thoughts, unhealthy mental thoughts, for a very long time, and I was attracting a lot of negativity around me. It was really hard to get out of that space. I was also ignoring my feelings and emotions, and as a being predominantly a water, being mostly water, not being in touch with my feelings and emotions was my kryptonite. It was my disempowerment. So I was actually a master manifester of the negativity or the toxic, or, what I can call that spiritual depression, for a very long time. So I've been doing a lot of personal work on this idea of manifestation. And this is why it's so important to go into the shadow, to work with a spiritual advisor, to work with a mental health professional or a spiritual coach, to help you dig into this space and get in touch with your feelings. And now, if getting in touch with your feelings and doing shadow work was easy, everyone would do it, right? So really only the strong survive. And so I've noticed that manifesting in the good has gotten so much easier for me as I've worked on my self-esteem, as I worked on my worth and value, as I've appreciated things in the moment, as I've allowed myself to get excited and feel joyful. This is where the orange cars have come in for me, right? There's such an abundance of orange cars. I see them everywhere. I must see 10 of them a day. It's just insane how much, even so much so yesterday I had walked into Whole Foods and I saw this beautiful bouquet of flowers, and they had purple roses in it. Now, purple's my favorite color. color. And so I picked it up, and ironically, they were on sale, and they were on sale for $8. 8 is prosperity. It's a God number. It's infinity. And as you've been watching my channel, I've been seeing 8s everywhere. So I was like, how can I not get these beautiful flowers? So I came home, I arranged them, I put them in my room. So like when I wake up, I see these beautiful flowers. So last night I was laying in bed looking at these flowers, and I realized that there were 2 orange Gerber daisies. I think or Shasta daisies. There were 2 big giant orange ones. I completely missed it. And I was sitting there thinking about like, wow, it was $8 and purple roses, and I love a purple. And I was like, oh my God, there's the orange. So I'm manifesting these energies. So my thought is like, okay, if I can manifest the color orange, why am I not able to manifest, these other things? And so this is kind of what I've been sitting with. And so the exploration of it is feeling it in my body. And I have to feel worthy and deserving of receiving. And so it works on your self-esteem. So you have to kind of go into the shadow, learn these lessons as part of the ascension process, explore your options, keep your eyes on the target and how you want to feel. So I feel like Michael is saying, like, this is happening and this is happening. And this is the point of all this. This is what 2019 up until this point has been moving towards. I hope this is making sense. Leave me some hearts in the comments, maybe like purple and blue. If this is really speaking to your soul, leave me some like purple and blue hearts in the comments. To let me know that we're kind of like in alignment, and other people who are coming to this channel at other points, they'll be able to see that they're not alone too. Even just leaving the comments of emojis, it just shows that there are people out there that are experiencing this, and we're all in this together. So I'm going to finish with a whispers of love. So Michael, what message of love do you want to share with the collective? What message of love do you want to share with the collective? What's the most important message of love that you want to share with the collective? Let's go with this one. Spiritual connection. I think I've said that a million times in a million different ways in this 32 minutes of recording. So spiritual connection. I love it here. It's like we have this energy. And so maybe those of you who are watching this and really struggling with relationships and love and romance and connection, this could also be a sign to say it's on its way. There's this beautiful energy right here. I also feel like it's the harmony of the masculine and feminine within you. And there's this beautiful balance. And I think what is so sacred and so beautiful is this masculine energy is below the feminine. Not that she's better, but when you have a healthy masculine who honors his feminine, it is the most powerful way for a feminine energy to feel cherished. So it's not like she's saying like, I have power over you or I'm dominating. It is he saying, I see your sacred beauty and I bow to that and I honor that. And so this could be something that's happening within you. This could be your own masculine seeing like how powerful the feminine is in her creativity and her intuition and her insight, and the masculine can then support her, can provide stability and security in that foundation. So I feel like this is where we're moving towards within. And then I've been saying so often, we are in a 9-year cycle of reintegrating the energy of true love back on this planet. And it has to come and start with the individualization of the self, the harmony of the masculine and feminine within. So if you're a man watching this or a woman watching this, the masculine energy has been going through a metamorphosis, most often through their life purpose or through their career and how their ability and what their ability is to make money. That's where they've been challenged. And what they've been asked to do is go in touch with their feelings, right? right? They've been getting in touch with like their emotions and not necessarily running away from them. And being able to nurture themselves and being able to take care of themselves in a healthy way. So we're seeing a lot of individualization, separation from codependent relationships, from the 3D to the 5D, and finding harmony within. The perfect example of that I can think of right now of that balance is Chip and Joanna Gaines from HGTV. Joanna is in her full power of her masculine and feminine, and she creates love and beauty in the world through her divine gifts, through design and vision. Chip, he also creates love and beauty in the world through his divine gifts of his own masculine and being able to actually create structure. He's a builder, he's a construction worker, and he builds structure. That's the masculine. It's kind of like the black and white. And then the feminine energy adds the color. And this is where you get this beautiful harmony of energy, right? So if your own inner masculine has been black and white, or has been criticizing and has been bullying and pushing, like achieve, and you just feel like it's not working, dip into your feminine, the part that adds color, the part that adds nurturing and love and joy and laughter. I mean, I have no doubt that's where I keep seeing the orange, right? It's a reminder of joy and laughter and play, and I've been very mindful to incorporate more of that in my life and kind of lighten up a little bit from all the, let's say, quote unquote, work I've been doing. And so I feel like that's what just this picture alone, I haven't even read it yet, but just this picture alone. And then what happens is when you have this harmony within yourself, guess what? You become a magnet for other people, places, things, and ideas that are in this space. So the card's message says this relationship has a connection that goes beyond this lifetime. Absolutely. And so you have to understand, I've been saying so often that we have an opportunity in this lifetime. We have been, up until this point, we've been breaking away from old soul groups, old beliefs, old ways of doing things, old programmings, the narcissism, the mental emotional abuse, the addiction, the patriarchal system, and there's been this separation of all these old ways that are just not working anymore. Mother Earth herself is shifting on her axis, right? So we're shifting into this feminine energy, but this doesn't mean female dominant. It means adding more softness, the nurturing in our lives, the balance, right, of the black and white in color. And so I feel like the message here is saying that you're now in this ascension process, you're manifesting a brand new soul group. So up until this point, there's been a lot of grief. There's been a lot of sadness with what was. There are people who are on this planet, and there are people who have left this planet physically. There are people who have maybe exited your life in maybe not so great ways. And understand, like, this is like all Michael saying, like, you're moving along in a process and you have an opportunity to hand pick people, places, things, and ideas that resonate with the essence of who your soul is now, consciously. But remember, when you're choosing those teams, when you're choosing those people in life, you're also choosing for lifetimes forward, right? It is beyond this lifetime. And what a gift to be able to go through life review. We are literally, I think Banu, I don't know if you've ever, Banu was an energy years ago. So I have tapes, like actual tapes, tape recorder, tapes from Banu. So that's how far we're going back. Maybe it's the 80s. And Banu channeled the Archangel Gabriel. And at that time, Gabriel was talking about how we were able to go through life review on this planet. This is what souls do when they cross over. But you as a spiritual being, as you are guided here at this channel to read this message now or at any time in the future, now is when you need to hear it. And so you have an opportunity to go through these life reviews, to reflect upon and ponder the energies that are around you, good, bad, and indifferent, and decide consciously better spiritual connections in your life. And I cannot say enough, it starts with the self. Yeah, being alone sucks. Feeling lonely or sad sucks. But it's only an opportunity for you to understand that you're separating from the divine when you're in those spaces, and that God is always with you. You're never really fully alone. But when you go to that space, it gives you an opportunity to get more clear about what it is that you want and become a master manifester. When you're able to go into the shadow of those feelings with support, you do not have to do this alone. There are many, many intuitives that are waking up, and I encourage you, it may not be the first person you fall upon. You know, you might have to meet a few people before you find that mutually supportive person. And building these spiritual connections here on this planet. And I feel like this is what we're going into in the last quarter. As you've been following this process, as you've been exploring your options, keeping your eye on your prize and how you want to feel, you've been ascending, you're coming into a master manifestor mode by being in touch with your feelings. And the spiritual connection is what's going to enhance. God's going to use you for, again, willingly, you've agreed to this. He's going to use you as an example on the planet for those people who are suffering. And like I said, Chip and Joanna have the perfect balance of the masculine and feminine within themselves. And then they come together as a power couple and a power unit. And I think it's fantastic. I think it's amazing. I mean, granted, maybe they're not perfect and they don't do everything right. I certainly think they're pretty high up there. And they're a perfect example of like when you have balance with the individual self, like what you can create together. We're not meant to do this alone. So we're moving into this space. Emotions may be running high right now. So sit with them, honor them, get help or get support. Sometimes people come in for sessions and I may not tell them anything they don't already know, but for me to be able to sit with them and pick up on all the things, without them saying anything to me is validation that they're on track, and it validates their own guidance system. And I have to say, I definitely need that for myself sometimes. So it's powerful. All right, so I am going to finish up. I don't think there's anything more I want to say. That was a lot. All right, so I just completed my August 2019 pick a card readings. So if you've been following the channel, you maybe have seen them already. But at the end of the video, I just did pick a card reading for career and life purpose. So stay to the end of this video and that link will come up, as well as I will put the angel therapy for love and romance, since, the spiritual connection is important. It's an important part of us being, in this human energy. What else did I want to say? I think that's it. Let me close space. Let me thank all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, God, source, creator of the universe, and all his holy beings of light who assisted with this guidance for you today, especially the Archangel Michael. And I'm going to ask that any healing that was started continue for as long as it needs to be done, in mind, body, spirit, and emotions in all ways. In those pick a card readings, you can come back at any time and pick one and choose a different option, and you might get exactly what you need. That's how powerful the divine is. That's how powerful the intuition is, and this ascension process. There really is nothing like tangible with it. It's not like a physical thing. It's more of like an inner depth, and that can be scary for a lot of people when you tap into your intuition and you tap into truth. So, stay the course. If you haven't heard it today, or nobody's told you in a while, I love you. God loves you so much. Trust your intuition, trust the divine, and I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.